Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. Had a question from one of our viewers. How do you manage a relationship when you're doing time? And that's a rough one. You know, a lot of guys, they come to prison, they're having a good relationship. They had a good relationship before they went to prison, and it seems like it's going good up until the time you get sentenced and she finds out how many months you're getting. A lot of times guys, they don't want to tell their loved one or their wife, that they're looking at 5 years or, which is, 60 months, or they're looking at 10 years, 120 months, because it scares them. And they figure that if they can kind of downplay it, it'll give them more time to actually maintain that bond with them. Well, what happens is your significant other or your loved one shows up at your sentencing and here's a time and does the math. Now, you got some ride or die out there, You got some women out there who are gonna ride no matter what, and you got other ones that just can't do it. They're not cut out to do the time. They send you to this fucking, this prison in the middle of nowhere, which is probably, an hour or two from the closest hotel. You get there, they go to try to visit you, and you have to go through all these different things. You can't wear these shoes, no open toes, you can't show no cleavage, that's too tight, that's too short. It's all this shit. So BOP sets it up to discourage you from having visits. And I've seen where people have been out there and they've been turned around. They travel 4 or 5 hours to come visit somebody and were turned around at the fucking visiting hall. These guards are fucking assholes at the visiting. Fucking dickheads. And that's what they do. So, when you're trying to maintain that bond, just realize sometimes when you do that time, man, you got to just do that time, and you can't make the woman do the time with you. If she's going to ride, she's going to ride. But you can't be, thinking that you're going to regulate by using the phone right before lockdown to see if she's home, or trying to call at weird hours to see if you can catch her not picking up the phone. Or, people got lives on the street, man. There's a lot of shit going on. So, while you're in prison and you ain't got nothing else to do, the last thing you need to do is be stressing off of, the last piece of ass you were fucking out there, if you got kids by this woman, then hey, man, just try to maintain a communication line and let them know you love them. But, if you're doing time, which in the feds, man, 5, 10 years is considered short. You got motherfuckers doing 20 for RICO, maybe more, it's rough, man. And to find somebody who's gonna ride all that time out, which, if these women don't have any kids, they're gonna, miss their window to have a kid. And then, they're not, they don't have any, women need physical, affection, and you can't give them that. There's no conjugal visits in the feds. So there's a lot of factors, and it's rough, man. And, a lot of guys I see them, they try to mind fuck the woman, telling her different shit, who you fucking and what are you doing and blah, blah, blah. And she might not be fucking nobody, but then by him keep saying that, she gonna go fuck and then tell you about it, Or you got a homeboy out there who been trying to fuck your broad, and now that you locked up, he over there trying to dick her down on a DL. Yeah, man, the nigga that you thought was your homie is now trying to dick down your wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of factors that come into play, man, because a lot of the things that you had, motherfuckers want, but they know they couldn't touch them while you were out there. So now that you're gone, they're gonna want to take advantage of them. You know what I mean? And start trying to wife your wife. So yeah, man, doing time, being in a relationship, it's a cold call, man. I've seen guys, who were sitting on meal tickets and their fucking wife and kids spent up all their shit, left them hanging. You know what I mean? And the dude was like, hey man, I'm glad they showed who they really are, because I got a couple more meals stashed off somewhere else, And so when I get out, they're not getting shit. But that's the type of shit that goes down, because, people tend to think that you're dead. You're fucking in a catacomb and you're not coming out. But you got get back. So like I said, doing time with a relationship, man, you can't be on the phone trying to be no phone soldier. You can't be trying to regulate the pussy. You gotta let your wife or your girlfriend do her. And if she's gonna support you, you know, at least put money on your books. That's all you could, that's the least you could ask for. You know, I mean, be grateful for that, man, but don't, you know, don't go out ass backwards. I've seen, you know, there's a cat up in there, man, and, you know, his girlfriend left him, man, and this motherfucker only had a year and some change left. He jumped off the motherfucking tee or killed himself. Yeah, over some ass, you know what I'm saying? Not realizing that there's another billion pieces out there and he can start fresh, but that's what happens. So yeah, maintaining relationships is rough.